Top 7 Most Dangerous Jobs in the World. Every day people go to work and put their lives at risk, whether they are driving a truck, working construction, or flying a plane. But what jobs are the most dangerous? That can be determined by looking at the fatality rate. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the top 7 most dangerous jobs in the world. Number 1. Frontline healthcare workers. While a lot of people all over the world have had the luxury of working from home in the past year, the healthcare workers working on the front line have been battling against the deadly diseases. Not only do they have to wear layers upon layers of protective gear every day, which makes it hard to breathe and work, but they're also constantly exposed. Number 2. Logging workers. Logging might not seem like it is one of the most dangerous jobs in the world, but it is. Loggers are not really the Zen lumberjacks you see in the movies. They have to be incredibly focused to tackle giant trees every single day. To take down and chop up the trees, they have to use power tools like a chainsaw, and have to work with heavy machinery like harvesters and forwarders. All of these individually are extremely dangerous to work with, but when you combine them with the fact that trees fall, and sometimes crush the loggers underneath, it puts into perspective just how dangerous this job really is. The fatality rate of loggers on average is 97.6 fatal work injuries per 100,000 workers. And this doesn't even include the injuries that don't end up being fatal and instead leave the loggers with permanent, lifelong injuries. Number 3. Workers in the fishing industry. Have you ever wondered what it takes to get a crab or a fish on your plate? Well, workers although the fishing industry put their lives at risk for every single one of them. Although fishing is usually associated with being relaxing, commercial fishing is nothing like that. Fishermen have to take long voyages through the seas and oceans. If there's one thing we know about the open waters, it's that they're extremely unpredictable. The ships and boats are usually fairly small, meaning that as the waters get harsh, the entire boat suffers the wrath. 77.4 workers per 100,000 die every year from handling the equipment, facing hypothermia and falling overboard, and drowning. Next time you purchase a fish from a supermarket, you'll know exactly what it took for it to get there. Number 4. Pilots and flight engineers. This one might not be a surprise. People who work in the air as pilots and flight engineers risk their lives with every flight they take. Not only do pilots hold hundreds of lives in their hands every single time they fly, but they also have to deal with a lot of things that we might not be able to see looking at their clean white uniforms. Think of how much jet lag can mess with your schedule. Now imagine that, but all the time. Pilots and flight engineers have to suffer extreme jet lag daily. This combined with a wrecked sleeping schedule and not being able to eat fresh meals all the time, their bodies are pretty much always in flight mode. The constant travel takes a toll on their mental and physical health, but that's not the only danger they face. There's always the imminent danger of the planes crashing, which is where most of the fatalities in this profession lie. Even though you might not hear about planes crashing every day, they crash a lot, usually taking the lives of the pilots with them. The average fatality rate of pilots and flight engineers is a surprising 58.9 fatalities per 100,000 workers. Number 5. Roofers. Ever looked at roofers and wondered if they were like real-life Spider-Men because of how well they can cling to the roof? Well, they can, but not all the time. A lot of roofers die from falling off of the roof every single year, but that's not the only danger they face. Roofers have to deal with a ton of other hazards while they're on the job too. These include having to work with volatile tars and other chemicals, which can both burn them and cause damage because of the toxic fumes, risking electrocution from exposed or faulty wiring. And another risk is when they're on the ground. Roof tiles and other debris can also fall on them while the work is being done, potentially causing fatal injuries. Falling off and all of the hazards they deal with caused 54 deaths per 100,000 workers in 2021 alone, putting this dangerous job at number 5. Number 6. Recyclable waste collectors. Even though we associate recycling as something nice and great for the environment, and it seems like a peaceful, rewarding thing to do, workers who are in the industry don't have it easy. We see waste collectors pick up our garbage with their trucks, but emptying out bins isn't where their job ends. They also have to empty out the trucks once they get to the dumping site, deal with ridiculously high temperatures when the garbage is being processed, to the point that in the summertime they have to make sure to overhydrate so they don't suffer a potentially fatal heat stroke. They're constantly exposed to hazardous materials in the garbage, risk being crushed by the machinery, and even get into frequent accidents while on the roads. 44.3 workers per 100,000 die every year while they're on the job. Number 7. Drivers. Driving seems like a pretty straightforward and easy job. All you have to do is drive from point A to B. But in reality, there's a lot more that goes into it that makes it a dangerous occupation. They not only have to drive insanely heavy trucks that take a lot of physical force to drive, but they also do it all through the day and night. This means that they're constantly moving, not getting enough sleep, rarely eating well, and exhausted from driving and being in traffic for days on end. This exhaustion leads to them getting into road accidents. Unlike a car, where there's a better chance of survival because of the safety features and the fact that it's smaller and you could potentially even jump out of it, trucks are heavy, and most of the time, if they crash, truckers don't usually make it. 26 per 100,000 truckers lose their lives every year. This number may seem small, but think of the number of trucks you see every day. This means that there are far too many truckers on the roads, so 26 doesn't end up being a small number at the end. Thanks for watching, and please click on the subscribe button if you like this video, and turn on the notifications so you don't miss out on our next video.